Hey guys, I hope you're doing well out there. Um, it's Monday morning, about 8 a.m., 8:30, whatever. Just just got done taking the dogs for a walk. I'm drinking my coffee. I figured I had about 15, 20 minutes before I'm gonna go and hit the gym before work. So wanted to just make a video. I just uploaded a video about the election and wanted just to piggyback off of that. So, you know, I think it's safe to say that in this country there's a real bifurcation of, left versus right. Um, and both parties have really gone to the extremes of their respective sides. The left with advocating for really extreme agendas like the transgender, um, you know, extremely loose um, legislation on immigration, being you know very hateful and, and downright bigoted towards white people or anybody that has any sort of traditional family values, right? Like demonizing people like that, using the um, accusation of racism as a weapon. And then you have the right, which, many people are advocating basically a Christian theocratic state where abortion is unanimously illegal, and they want to kick out every single illegal immigrant, even if they have family children who are born here. So I don't know how that's even possible. And they want to totally deregulate Wall Street, um, just completely disregard any environmental protection and just drill um, endlessly. And both, in my opinion, are not sustainable um, political platforms. Yet, people more than ever have dug their heels in to their respective political party that they claim they represent, that they support. And I really think that that's just a problem, because both political parties are so flawed and don't really, I think, address the underlying problems that most average, everyday Americans face. Gay marriage, abortion, trans stuff, those are that's white noise. Those are not really the most important issues that are facing us on a day-to-day basis. On a day-to-day basis, and of course, this is the big reason why I think Trump won, is that look, under Biden, inflation went up tremendously. Um, Savings did not go up with the average American household. The cost of goods went up, and people felt it. People felt it at the grocery store. They felt it at the bank account. You know, but the stock market did go up. So this is why when you look at metrics like GDP per capita or um, things like that, it's not really a real measurement of how the average American is doing, because GDP may have gone up, but the average American wealth did not go up, and it certainly didn't go up when you adjust for inflation. And Trump went on that, and he harped on that, and he attacked, and he wasn't wrong for attacking them on that, but you know uh, the reality is that the rich actually did very well under Biden. that's the funny thing, is that the Democrats claim they're for the working man, but if you have any amount of a stock portfolio, look at your stocks in 2020 and then compare them to 2024. Mine went up tremendously. So, you know, real estate went up. Now, you could make an argument that that's not because of Biden's policies, but it certainly, you know, Biden certainly didn't make policies that didn't make that happen either. So, you know, what I'm really getting at here is, you know, to me, this country is finished. I don't want to say finished, but this country is does not have a viable path out of the cultural decay that I see, and I've seen it for years, and it's just continuing to get worse. I mean, those are just some political, so a little bit of a political analysis, but if you look at the culture, you look at, you know, the rate of single parents raising children in broken homes. You look at the drug addictions, look at overdosing, alcoholism, obesity. You just look at the amount of screen time that the average child is consuming now compared to previous generations. You know, you look at academic achievement, and you look at just the amount of people that are on psychiatric drugs. Like there's just a multitude of things that you could point to that really, you know, elucidate the fact that this country is on its way down. It's on its way out. We're in decay. We're on, you know, there's an ascent and then there's a decline, and we're on the decline. And I think that we're on the decline because we're holding on to old ideas that just don't work anymore. You know, I am not a fan of socialism. I'm not a fan of capital or communism at all. I think they're absolutely failed systems. But, you know, the whole notion that, you know, we should run this country like a business is a very problematic viewpoint. And certain things, like when it comes to foreign trade, sure, we should run the country like a business. But when it comes to healthcare, when it comes to education, you know, we should not be running this country like a business. We need to be doing what's best for human well-being and happiness and health, not always what's best for the bottom line. And I think that what we have here is, when you look at these politicians and you look at their background, you look at their education background, you look at their professional background, it's all pretty much people of the same. All these people have very similar backgrounds. Most of them are lawyers or business people that worked in the corporate world or worked in government their whole life. And when I mean corporate, I'm talking like they worked on Wall Street, they worked in big pharma, they worked in oil and gas, you know, they worked in, you know, in the media, in the big media companies. Like, they're not people that, you know, owned a construction company. They're not people that owned a couple pizza shops. They're not somebody that owned a couple restaurants. Sure, you have like somebody like AOC who's doesn't fit that bill. I mean, she was a bartender, but by and large, these are all people that come from a very similar background, and they have a way of thinking about the world that basically can be reduced to the idea that whatever makes money, whatever makes good business sense, is the right thing to do. And that mindset is not correct. Not in every situation. If you're running a business, obviously any business's primary objective is to make a profit. I understand that. But when you're running a country, that's a much more multifaceted operation that can't just look at every situation through a very narrow and, in my opinion, myopic viewpoint. So what we need is people from different sectors of society that have an equal voice that as the people that we currently do. And unfortunately, that's just not possible because there's a systemic problem. And the systemic problem that we have, and I've been saying this for years, and I'm going to say it again on this video, is that we have a system in which the corporations are legally allowed to give unlimited campaign contributions to any politician of any political party. And what that does is that it makes these politicians beholden to the corporations, not the people they so-called represent. And so the constituency that votes these politicians in is not getting represented by that person. That person is representing the corporate interest that they're beholden to. Okay? Because they have financial leverage on them. So that's the biggest problem, and that's why I don't vote, and that's why I think that it's all a fucking sham anyways, because anybody who comes out there and really truly is a disturbance to the system is going to get rooted out very quickly. And Donald Trump is a corporate elite. He may not sound like a traditional corporate elite. He may not present himself like a corporate elite, but he is. And just the way that people were fooled by Obama, being that the guy's not white, half black, whatever, and that he must there be an outsider. He must be not part of the system. He must think differently. And thus he will be different. How that was bullshit, because he wasn't. He was just the same bullshit, just with darker skin, and in a obscure name, exotic name. Donald Trump is the same exact bullshit, except he's got more of a shoot from the hip, kind of straight, tell it like it is, rough around the edges, politically incorrect version. And as an individual, Donald Trump is an interesting character to me. I think I'd probably like the guy. I mean, he's a pretty interesting guy. He's a likable guy, in my opinion, if you're not soft. But as a politician, it's clear to me that he operates with nepotism. He puts people in positions of power that are loyal to him, that are going to push his agenda, that may not be the best person for the job. And so, he operates like a mafia boss. If you're loyal to him and you do what he wants and do what he says and don't ask questions, and he asks you to jump and you ask how high, then you're going to be all right. The minute you tell him something he doesn't want to hear, or you voice some objection because you have a real legitimate reason to do so, you're persona non grata. So it's funny to me how people really are taken back by that somehow things are going to change, and somehow the quality of life for the average person is going to go up with Trump. It's comical to me, because the reality is, as George Carlin said years ago, there's a big club, and you and I ain't in it. You and I are not in the big club. That man's words truly sound prophetic today, as he really was a harbinger of things to come. So, very wise man. But I'm going to get rolling here. I'm going to get to the gym and start my day and get after it. But hope this video at least made you think, you know, and I'll roll. See you guys.